When Chicago Bears picked up Jack Sanborn in UDFA, it was a move that was not expected to be much and just a depth move. But Jack Sanborn might have had a meteoric rise unlike any other player in the NFL. To go from being undrafted to starting on a team to being the future at Mike linebacker is incredible and damn inspiring. And on today's video, we're going to discuss Jack Sanborn's story and why he is the future at Mike linebacker. But before we get into that, you guys know what to do. Go and smash that like button, subscribe for more Bears content and NFL videos like this, and let me know in the comment section below what video you want next. And with it all being said, let's head right into today's video. Now, Jack Sanborn grew up as a local kid in Deer Park, Illinois, just 15 minutes shy from downtown Chicago. And growing up as a local kid, he was naturally a fan of the Chicago Bears and grew up watching Lance Briggs and Brian Urlacher and modeled his game not only after them but also Dick Buckness. And football was in his blood, literally. His late father, Paul, was an offensive lineman at Oregon in the late 70s and early 80s. And Jack not only got his football talent from his dad, but also his caring nature, his mentality of playing for your family and putting others before yourself. Now, Jack lost his dad at the age of 4, and that was not easy for Jack, but especially hard on his mom. But family and friends supported the Sanborn family as they would take Jack and his brothers to games, practices, and everything in between. And this really shaped who Jack is today. You know, someone who's going to play for his family. And this mindset of family, mixing with Jack's football roots, made Jack an unstoppable force at Lake Zurich High School. Jack had his first D1 offer from Iowa State after his sophomore year of high school, and this is pretty rare. You know, most athletes don't get the scholarship option to junior year. That just shows the player that Jack is, and as his high school tenure would continue on, Josh will only get more and more offers, and he would finish his high school tenure as a 4-star recruit from 24/7 Sports and had 14 offers, including 7 from Big Ten schools like Northwestern, Minnesota, Michigan State, Iowa, Indiana, and Wisconsin, where he would eventually commit to in March of his junior year after his visit at Wisconsin. And when Jack went to his visit at Wisconsin, he was hosted by none other than TJ Edwards, who he had met through to his new head coach, Coach Martinez, who had coached TJ at Lakes High School in Lakeville. And after the visit, TJ called Coach Martinez and talked about how smart Jack was, how Jack was able to dissect the game. And Jack, on the other hand, loved the fact that he could go to a school that was known for developing linebackers, a school that was, a bit of a football powerhouse, and a school that was known for academics, which was important for Jack. And that's why he decided to commit there versus other colleges. Now, Wisconsin loved Jack's ability to, again, dissect the game, his ability to have highlight-worthy plays, to get after the quarterback, to make tackles, and also Jack's relentlessness and his ability, which really showed in Jack's senior year. In the summer going to Jack's senior year, he tore his labrum, and he could have very easily decided to get surgery and take his senior year off and prepare for playing Wisconsin. But Jack decided to play the entire season with the torn labrum. He wanted to play for his brothers on the field, for his family, and make it a memorable season and end his high school season on a high note, which Lake Zurich did. In the state playoffs, Lake Zurich played Mount Carmel, one of the best teams in high school football, as they won the most state games in Illinois' history. And in order for Lake Zurich and Jack to win this game, they had to play physical and smart. And it was almost as if Jack had prepared for this moment his entire life. Jack's ability to set the game, to get after the quarterback and make those crucial tackles came in clutch and an option play that Mount Carmel ran. Jack took away from all 3 phases of an option play. He took away the dive, he took away the quarterback, and he took away the pitch. And this was a play that shocked everyone who was at that stadium, that Jack had this superstar ability. And the referee, who had refed for 30 years, had commented how he had never seen anything like this in his 30 years of reffing and how special Jack Sanborn was. And Zurich will win that game 14-7, defeating Mount Carmel and reaching its 5th state title in school history and the first since 2013. And even though Lake Zurich lost that game, that season would have never been possible had Jack not played through a torn labrum. That just shows the player that Jack is today, someone who's going to play for more than himself and do whatever it takes to win. Now, when Jack Sanborn arrived at Wisconsin, TJ Edwards was still there, and he said to come back after the senior season after winning All-American honors and being the Buckness Awards finalist as one of the best linebackers in the country prior. And Jack had high expectations to live towards, and he had to become the next great linebacker at Wisconsin, and he did that. Jack went into his freshman year as mostly a reserve player, but he would start in 4 games and play in 11 games, and he would finish his freshman season with 4 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles for losses, and 1 pass deflected. And in his sophomore year, he would earn a spot, and he would start in 14 games. He would have 50 solo tackles, 30 assisted tackles, 5.5 sacks, and he would have 3 picks. And when Wisconsin played Oregon in the Rose Bowl, it meant a lot for Jack. Jack because that was his dad for Martino. It's almost as if his dad was watching because Jack would have his best game that season as he would have 8 tackles and 1 pick. In the pandemic-stricken season, Jack would start in all 7 games and have 31 solo tackles, 21 assisted tackles, 1 sack, and 1 pick. Then in his senior year, Jack would have 45 solo tackles and 44 assisted tackles and 5 sacks. And while Jack was very good statistically on the field, he was also set. He was a leader of that defense. He was set quarterback. He took the calls and made sure all his defensive players were set and communicated with the secondary. And he was in sync with Jim Ladder, one of the best defensive coordinators in the college game, with hand signals, communicated with Jim what he was seeing on the field. In Jack's last season, he was part of a defense that was known as the Death Row, as the Wisconsin Badgers were one of the best defenses in the nation. After his senior year, Jack naturally entered the NFL draft, and scouts were pretty mixed on him. Some of the strengths I talked about were the fact that he had adequate toughness and the strength to play inside, the fact that he reads and pressures with good pad level, the fact that he can easily recognize run zone scheme recognition, the fact that he can beat the runner on design run lanes, the fact that he steps in and constricts the gap when possible, the fact that he connects his hands and his legs to get rid of himself from blockers, the fact that he has the thud power to stand and stop the runner, and the fact that he can throttle between the spot dropper and the blitzer on third downs. And in terms of weaknesses, this was kind of the reason on why he kind of fell to being undrafted, but Jack had a marginal slide quickness from tackle to tackle. His false keys can, pull him up out of position. His field implements diminishes him outside the blocks, and he's kind of sluggish when it comes to changing direction. When forced to change direction, he kind of lacks that reserve athleticism to mirror and tackle slashers, and rush pressures are mostly generated by the schemes. And Wisconsin linebackers are pretty known to be part of a scheme, and the fact that Jack only ran a 4.46 and he had a small size really made him fall out of the draft. But the Bears saw something in Jack Sanborn. Ryan Poles saw that this guy had some hidden talent, and the fact that he was a leader and can get after the quarterback and create turnovers made Ryan Poles want Jack. And this was one of Ryan Poles' best UDFA pickups in the draft, and that couldn't be more evident than in the preseason when Jack had 7 total tackles, 1 pick, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 pass deflected. And Jack made his season debut against the New York Giants where he would have 1 tackle. And even though Jack did not start, he kept working and proved the Chicago Bears that they had something special in him. And that, along with Roquan Smith, his contract disputes really urged Ryan Poles to trade Roquan Smith, and Jack was the perfect replacement for Roquan. Jack's first game against the Dolphins, he would have 7 tackles, and against the Lions, he would have 12 combined tackles, 2 solo tackles, and finished that season with 48 solo tackles and 6 starts, and would have led the league in solo tackles had he started in all 17 games, but he didn't due to injury and due to him not starting earlier. But he would finish the season on a high note, having 64 combined tackles, 5 solo tackles for losses, 2 sacks, 3 QB hits, 1 fumble recovery, while also earning a spot on PFF's all-rookie team. And even though Jack's season was ended short due to injury, I think the Chicago Bears have something in, as he has played the mic position perfectly and is only going to get better as time moves on. And this is a guy who plays for more than just himself. He's smart, he can accept plays, and he is a force to be reckoned with. And the fact that Ryan Poles was able to get him in UDFA was incredible. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What are you guys thinking about Jack Sanborn? Let me know in the comment section below, and don't forget to smash that like button. With that all being said, bear down.